What's up, Taiwan? I'm Erika Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Monday is World Drug Day, when countries around the world look for ways to curb illegal drug use and stamp out trafficking. How is Taiwan faring in this area? Bing Wang takes a look.
Presidential recognition for a parade of activists and academics fighting drug abuse in Taiwan. It's the United Nations International Day Against Drug and Illicit Trafficking. And while Taiwan is not a part of the UN, the country is marking the day by celebrating its accomplishments in its fight against the illegal trade.
2017年颁布新世代反毒策略后，我们以跨部会、跨地方、跨领域的整体作战的方式，希望能够达到抑制毒品再犯、降低毒品新生的两大目标。
From 2016 to 2020, the number of drug users in Taiwan has lowered by 18,000 people, a drop of 30%. And last year, Taiwanese officials seized nearly 10,000 kilograms of illegal drugs, a minuscule amount compared to other countries with similar populations. In Myanmar and Thailand, where illegal drugs are more rampant, authorities observed the Global Day Against Drugs by burning more than 25 tons of confiscated drugs. Beyond seeing it as a crime, UN officials are calling for drug abuse to be treated as a social issue, promoting a campaign called Support, Don't Punish.
296 million people used drugs in a single year, while more than 39 million of them suffered from drug use disorders. On this International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, we are calling for drug responses that are rooted in empathy, built on science, and focused on people.
In keeping with that, Taiwan is putting more money towards rehabilitating drug addicts and offering them assistance afterwards to find housing. The goal, officials say, is to reintegrate them with society, recognizing that there's more to battling illegal drugs than law enforcement. Scott Huang and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwanese lawmakers are welcoming U.S. plans to give patrol drones to Taiwan's Coast Guard. Lawmakers from both the ruling and main opposition parties say the Jump 20 drones will help improve maritime safety and crime prevention efforts. The U.S. reportedly agreed to supply the drones to Taiwan last year. The drones have vertical takeoff capabilities and can stay up in the air for up to 14 hours, covering distances of around 185 kilometers. Taiwan is working to build up its drone fleet as China continues to ramp up its military presence around the Taiwan Strait. And more, Taiwan has started refitting its surveillance drones with weapons to prepare them for combat. That's according to a source close to the military. The source says the Army is putting laser targeting systems and ammunition drums on some of its helicopter drones. These unmanned vehicles were designed in Taiwan and were shown to the public for the first time in January. Soldiers only need to undergo 2 weeks of training before they can start piloting them. Young men in Taiwan may soon be able to perform their mandatory military service while still at university. A new 3+1 plan could let them opt for 3 years of study and 1 year of military service. This way, they could complete both in 4 years. Taiwan requires all able-bodied men to serve in the military for 1 year, but enlisted men are often forced to put their lives on hold while waiting to be called up. Lawmakers say the new plan will improve freedom and flexibility, but insist it won't be mandatory. The plan comes after Taiwan increased the length of mandatory service from 4 months to 1 year amid rising tensions with China. Taiwan's biggest power suppliers are in a tough spot. State-run electricity and gas companies Taipower and CPC Corporation may be forced to raise wages, even though both ran massive losses last year. Joyce Tseng explains.
Keeping these lights on across Taiwan might be getting more expensive. For the past year, gas and electricity prices have been artificially low for consumers here, but it's proving difficult to keep them down. Taiwan's biggest suppliers of gas and electricity are state-run companies CPC and Taipower, respectively. As part of a cabinet-approved bill to support the public sector, both are now under pressure to raise wages. The problem is, both CPC and Taipower suffered $6 billion in losses from the last year.
去年造成的亏损造成我们财务的负担，我们当然还是希望可以得到一个整体的来自于政府的支持哈。
The two companies' losses came from absorbing much of last year's price hikes in energy resources, something that the government required them to do. Energy prices around the world shot up in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and as the war continues, there are fears of another round of instability. This would be a problem for Taiwan since most of its power comes from imported fossil fuels. That's why the government is considering a $3 billion boost to save Taipower, but hasn't mentioned any plans for the gas company. Prices are not the only issue with powering Taiwan. The island nation is no stranger to blackouts. Last March, nearly 40% of the country lost power, and during the summer, there were 22 more outages. Though Taiwan's all-important tech parks and industry giants like TSMC and Foxconn were largely unaffected, frequent power failures expose weaknesses in the energy supply of Asia's most important chip-making hub. Energy officials say these cracks can't be plugged with just $3 billion extra. As a government subsidy for Taipower pens, the company will still be required to align with other state-run firms to raise wages to account for inflation. What that means is it's likely to get more expensive to keep Taiwan running. Andy Xue and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
Record-breaking heat waves are scorching cities in Mexico, China, and India. And while some of us may welcome the summer sun, for many, the unseasonable weather can be deadly. Sally Ensign has more.
Air temperatures around the world are smashing records for June. These heat maps show where temperatures are higher than usual for this time of year. Specifically on the US-Mexico border, in Spain, and in northeastern China. Just last week, Beijing broke its June temperature record, hitting almost 42 degrees Celsius. The heat wave in China's capital is expected to continue through this week, and many locals are worried.
希望广大的这几天，广大的就是这个年纪大的人尽量少出行，搁家待着就行了。外面天气太热，体力不好嘞，血压高嘞就容易中暑。
In Spain, the hottest part of Europe, workers at an outdoor festival are struggling in a heat wave that's more intense than in the past.
Este año no estábamos preparados para la ola de calor. Estamos a 40 grados, entonces los artistas sufrieron una hipotimia, el público no podría sentarse a verles.
Temperatures of 40 degrees Celsius and above can be deadly. In India, authorities say the heat last week killed 96 people. Scientists say human-caused climate change has made this kind of brutal heat wave more likely.
It feels 2 degrees warmer, experience this kind of a heat wave about once in 5 years. Okay, so it's not that rare, but without climate change, it would have been 30 times rarer.
Earth's climate is changing because humans are releasing more greenhouse gases into the air, mostly by burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. And while fossil fuel companies made record-breaking profits last year, this year's record-breaking heat is causing millions around the world to suffer. Temperature records for June have so far not been broken here in Taipei. But people are watching closely as the mercury edges upwards. And as parts of the world sizzle, many are worried about what the coming months will bring. Devin Tsai and Sally Jensen in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally today, we leave you with images of the private chambers of the French Queen Marie Antoinette at the Palace of Versailles. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.